Hi, this is Amy Lewis. This is Engineers Unplugged. Hi, this is Amy Lewis, Cisco Marketing, and you're here for another episode of Engineers Unplugged. We've got Conrad and Scott, and we're going to be talking about level up. What does that mean? Let's find out. Here you go, Scott.
Thank you, Amy. Hey, Conrad.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So we were just talking a little bit before we were going about leveling up skills. I've been doing some of this stuff. We're at VMworld 2013. I've been doing some of this stuff for a while now. And, in the beginning, it was all about consolidation, virtualization, more VMs, more whatnot. But I was telling Conrad that I actually have seen a video. One of my friends has a 5th grader that's actually doing virtualization administration.
It's crazy.
Yeah, which is nuts as a 5th grader. And I'm watching this video and he's in Hyper-V and he's creating VMs and he's making all the interfaces and I'm like, oh wow, a light hit me on my head. I said, dude, in less than 10 years, that's going to be the McDonald's job of the future. So Conrad and I were talking about, what can you do to level up your skills, get beyond what you've been doing for like the last 10 years and just power up. Conrad here is awesome on PowerShell and PowerCLI, and so what do you think we can do in the future here?
Well, it's one of those things where you always have your environment, and you're managing your environment, you're administrating your environment. So to take it to the next level, you want to start automating that environment. So one of the ways you can do it is through PowerShell with scripts, with PowerCLI, and you can take a task that you might have to do manually to several VMs, a dozen VMs, 20 VMs, and then you write a simple script for it, and then you just run that script and you're done. And it makes it really easy, and it makes your job easier. You can give scripts to your friends, to your colleagues to make their jobs easier, and it just helps everyone.
That definitely. I think the reuse of code. I mean, back when I was growing up, I grew up with OS2 and bulletin boards and all that stuff, and it was all about how can we copy and paste, right? How can we kind of steal from, right? And not really steal, but reuse, right? Other work. I mean, why go through it over and over again if we can do that? And I feel that we've been way back here where we had one OS and one application, and that's super easy to do, and moved off into the future, and we started doing virtualization with a lot of VMs and whatnot, and we're squeezing a lot of capacity out of that. And this is pretty easy to manage. This is pretty easy to manage. But now we're talking about, right? We're at VMworld, and they're talking software-defined data center, right? Software SDD, software-defined everything, yada yada yada. But now we're talking about all this data center. How do we squeeze the efficiency out of here? And I can't manage this easily without tools that you work with all the time.
Yeah, it gets really tough, and it's really been a highlight of what we've been hearing a lot this week at VMworld so far is just automate everything. Like, you want to get to the point where you're managing stuff and deploying stuff as a service, pretty much. You want to be able to click a button and have that VM get more CPUs or have more RAM associated with that, or even spin up another VM to help the workload and whatever. And so, as you were saying, it gets really hard to manage this, so you almost want to get to a point where instead of managing all of these VMs inside of this, you almost just want to manage one, so it almost looks like a whole. You don't want to manage all the little parts in it. You want it to all be just a nice whole, so you're managing one big thing as opposed to all the smaller things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think holistically is what we need to look at everything. So are there, in my world, I watch a lot of videos to sort of get up to speed on PowerShell and whatnot. Are there places that we can, things that we can do to really up-level our skills? I mean, I think that's where we all need to be. We need to just start up-leveling and powering up and bonusing up and all that. So, so are there things you would recommend, resources and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, if you want, especially to do some working out and up-level yourself with some PowerCLI and some PowerShell skills, the best place to go is the forums, whether it's the VMware forums. You can go to PowerShell.com. They have great forums there, and just ask questions or Google it, see what blog posts exist, and just do it. Like, that's really the best way to get better at something, is to just dig in. It might be uncomfortable for a little bit. It might be a little weird as you get associated with it, but you dig in to learn it, because you're not going to learn scripting just by watching someone script. You're going to learn scripting by actually typing out the commands, figuring out how it works, maybe breaking a few things.
Definitely. So if we could replicate you, right? So we just need to orchestrate VNoob, orchestrate Conrad, replicate you, and I think it would be great.
That I would love to have more time for myself as well.
I would take it. Me too.
Okay, I'm totally jumping on because I have some questions here. So as we move to this concept of a unified data center, what else do you recommend? I know I'm a big fan of the V Brown bag. I know you participate with that in terms of user groups that you can find and community. I love the two things that I heard coming out of this are learn something new and find a community to share with.
Yeah, it's completely the best thing to do. There are communities out there for just about anything you want to be involved in, whether it's Cisco and networking, whether it's PowerShell and PowerCLI, whether it's just storage, anything you can think of. There are great communities out there and people who are willing to help, and all you have to do is ask them because they want to help.
And I'm hearing a lot about cross-training is so important now. You know, if we're going to take another metaphor, that it's, you know, you can't just be the network guy or the compute guy or the storage guy anymore. Is that what you're seeing?
Oh, absolutely. You can't just have one. There's not just a thing as one skill set anymore. You have to know everything, and that's our geek culture, right? I mean, whether it be food or exercise or, you know, and even some of those things that we add in that are outside of technology, they sort of help us technology-wise with the thought processes, because it's really the logical thinking that gets you where you want to be.
And on that note, I think it's time to have a power-up unicorn. So let's level up. It's a unicorn challenge. You better grab a marker. It's time to draw a unicorn. Oh, I'm not kidding. I love when they think I'm kidding. Oh.
No cheating. No cheating.
He's reusing the code. I think that's a platypus. I think the lesson here, as Conrad and Scott were saying, you don't learn by not doing. So everybody, you may not know this, but if you're going to be on Engineers Unplugged, you're going to be drawing unicorns. You might want to start practicing. Thank you, Conrad. Thank you, Scott. Great conversation. We'll see you next time on Engineers Unplugged.